was brought to the attention of the firehouse. So they don't I know, I don't. I get it. Yeah, I get it. I've been. I love them. I get it. I'm right on the case. I get it. It's been. Yeah. She knows. Had about, so it's about a 5-hour flight from we fly into Dulles International Airport. We're in Virginia. Yeah. So our small airport took us to Dulles, and Dulles took us to Seattle, and we drove the rest of the way here. That's a trip. It was a long day. Yeah, we got a little bit fussy towards the end of the very last flight. But we were on the plane for 5 hours at that point, and I was thinking, right. And then I ran out of snacks, so we didn't have anything to help her up. She was less than 20 minutes, and then yeah. And then she slept on the whole car ride here. So she did great. I was telling Daniel that I actually know how good she did unless you're about traveling in the future. Yeah. So we're going to try to come to
and it's very good for all of you being here today to help me with his memory. This is Pastor Gray, who's going to read the obituary, and then just to have a little something to say to us.
Thanks, man. Can you guys hear me in the back? I do have a loud voice, so if you need me to yell louder, I'm more than good to do it. Yeah, good. Up the volume. There you go. The family, just like Lana just said, we just want to wish you guys and thank you guys for coming, and being a part of Ken's celebration of life and this time together. Probably our best thing to do is start in prayer. So if you guys, those that would pray, bow your heads and let's pray. Kenneth Michael Wheeler, 54, of Pearland, Texas, passed away on August 3rd, 2024. Born on May 22nd, 1970, Ken was known for his vibrant personality and diverse interests. He graduated from Eisenhower High School in Yakima, Washington. Ken was a spirited individual who loved life's various adventures. His careers ranged from truck driving, firefighting, and even donut making. Ken enjoyed anything that presented a challenge. A true outdoorsman, Ken enjoyed fishing and was a dedicated fan of the Seahawks. His outgoing nature made him the life of the party, always ready to share a beer and a story. He leaves behind his mother, Lana Russell, his spouse, Melissa Wheeler, his daughters, Cassie Lewis, Bailey Wheeler, Ella Wheeler, Amber Wheeler, his stepson, Hunter Hansen, and their 3 cherished granddaughters. So, as we come to this time, Ken, I did not have an opportunity to know Ken. I was asked to come and do this as a friend of the family and to participate in this time with you guys. One of the things that I wanted to try to speak to you guys today about was just peace. Sometimes in the midst of mourning and the midst of loss, it's really hard to find peace. And it's really hard to find the purpose and the reason why some things happen. And it's difficult because, God says specifically in Scripture that He brings a peace that goes beyond understanding. And that's a really big word, the peace that goes beyond understanding. Like, what does that even mean, that goes beyond understanding? And I think that when we encounter moments like this is the time where we understand that there's a peace that goes beyond understanding. To know, to be at peace with one another in relationship and family. This is a time when your hearts are hurting and you feel the loss. but there's also a peace that comes with it too. It's the peace that goes beyond understanding. As we move close to God, God moves close to us. One of the things that we wanted to do for you guys as a family and as friends is to open this time up for sharing and for a time to share stories with one another. I also have something that I want to share at the end with you guys, but I think now is a great time for you guys to share your stories and testimonies of Ken and who he was to you, and maybe something that happened in your life that just says, this is Ken to me. As I said, I don't know him, so maybe this is your time to tell me a story about him so I get to know him during this time. Who's first? Who would like to say something?
I will,
All right.
if I can. I'm Ken's mother-in-law. I'm sorry, not mom. Carlene. This is my husband Mike, his father-in-law. And I just want you to know, Ken was so funny. He was funny. We could rib him, he'd laugh. He was funny. And he was outgoing. He would be willing to drop everything to help somebody. He could fix anything, I swear to God. And so he was always bringing his toolbox over and helping people fix things. And he was great at that kind of thing. We'd catch him often in the garage. He was a putterer, and he'd be playing Metallica. And it was like rocking out so loud, we'd scare him. And whenever we'd go over, but he enjoyed country music as well. And this isn't meaning to be offensive, but he wasn't quite a Seahawk fan. He was a NASCAR fan. And I always made fun of him because I said, oh, you might be a redneck, and he would laugh at that because he loved NASCAR. And Melissa is the one that kind of made him watch the Seahawks, which he did. But he did that, and he would laugh at jokes. We could rib him, like I said, and he would laugh, And he could talk to anybody. And I have a funny story about that because he had no filter. And he never knew what the word embarrassment meant. And so Melissa and Ken were moving. The landlord was showing them the house, They were doing a walkthrough. And Ken just says to the landlord, hey, dude, how do you like my teeth? And everybody goes, the guy, I'm sure, was taken aback because what is he supposed to say? Oh, well, that was Ken's lead-in. He had just had this major dental work done, and he should be very proud of them. They were very nice, and his oral surgeon did a great job. But that was his lead-in because his oral surgeon had asked him to be in a commercial on TV. And so he wanted somebody to know that. And he just said it to this, and Melissa's going, what? What do you, why are you saying that? But he just blurted it out. No embarrassment. Another one, which is very brief, but it was about this time of year. The girls were younger. I always made chili. They'd come over trick-or-treating, get their special treats. And this was when I was blonde. So you know how long ago this was. I had dyed my hair. I thought, oh, I'm going to try a different color, right? So Ken comes walking in the house. He goes, oh, you dyed your hair orange for Halloween. I just laughed. I said, no, it was a hair dye gone wrong. Again, no filter. But part of his happiness was being a firefighter. He loved it. He was devastated that he couldn't make it through, and he liked that part of his life. And I just want you to know that he wasn't a depressive person. He wasn't. He enjoyed life. Life changes for everybody, and unfortunately, their life changed. And I forgot where I was going to go with that. He was always going to be a part of the kids' life, no matter what. And what he did, I feel, was very selfish and very inconsiderate. And I'm mad at him for that, as I think some of us are, because he felt there was no other option. He has 4 daughters. He has a granddaughter that is absolutely darling. He has a mom. He has a wife that they still were going to be friends. They wanted to get a cordial divorce. And I don't know why he felt he had to do this, because he was going to be part of everybody's life. And there's a saying, suicide doesn't take pain away. It just gives it to other people. And he accomplished that. And that's why we're so mad and sad, because my granddaughters are going to live with this for the rest of their life. And it's not fair. It's not fair. But I don't want him to be remembered for that. I really don't. He was a good guy. He was funny, and like I said, outgoing. He could talk to anybody, and he was always friendly. He was very polite and very wonderful for us. He never, it wasn't like that. I just wanted him to know that I am mad at you for doing this. And there's so many stories, that I could probably tell. But I'm not going to take up everybody's time, but I do want you to know that he was loved by everybody that he was around. I mean, he was so friendly, and that's it.
Thank you, Mom.
Thank you.
I just want to add a little addendum to that, from the time he was a very small child, I always said that he never met a stranger.
Yeah.
Everybody was his friend, and I remember one time taking him to the Dairy Queen. He was very young, maybe 6 or 7 years old. And we were sitting in the booth, and there was a small wall, and there's a man sitting on the other side of the booth. And Kenny's talking to this man, and I said, Kenny, you're not supposed to talk to strangers. He's not a stranger, his name's Bob. They had strange names, and they were not strangers.
Exactly.
He never met a stranger, he just loved people.
Moving to Texas, and so that's when we really got to spend time with him and get to know him. And some of my favorite memories were just sitting outside having huge bonfires, playing music way too loud, and I thought the neighbors were going to come get mad. They never did. He just invited them over and loved to just have fun, and always found ways to make you smile, and absolutely no filter all the time. I remember being a little embarrassed about that every time. But yeah, he jokes and truly loved with his whole heart in one way or another. So we'll definitely be missed. And loved his granddaughters to pieces. So.
I don't think I ever knew anyone who attacked life the way that Ken did. The second he had his mind made up on something, he didn't wait, didn't hold back, and there was something that was going to stop him. When Cassie and I got married, he and Melissa and everyone came out to be there for the wedding. And while we were there, he and Melissa were driving around, just kind of taking a look at the area. And the day of the ceremony, we got to talking, and they mentioned, we looked around, we love the area, we love what we're seeing, and we thought we might think about moving out here. And then all of a sudden it went from, we're going to come out in December and start looking around, to, we might just go, we're going to actually come take a look in November, to, oh, hey, we found a place, we're moving in September.
3 days later.
Yeah. Pretty much. But as has been said, you never had to worry about where you sit with Ken. He was going to tell you one way or the other. But the other thing about him, he was that 3 a.m. friend. guy that doesn't matter what it was, doesn't matter what time it was. If you needed him, if you called him, he was gonna be in his truck by the time he picked up. And didn't matter what you needed or where you were, he was gonna come do it. He was a wonderful friend and a hell of a father-in-law. And he Ken, seems like just a day ago we were riding around in Estes' truck together. We talked about so much, our families, our lives, and everything under the sun. We hit it off right away as friends and have been ever since. The time went so fast, and I feel the world lost a great man full of life with a solid, genuine heart. For me, I lost one of my best friends. And there's not a day that's gone by that I don't think of you. There's so much I wish I could tell you, and yet I can't. All the guys from work, Brad, Keith, myself, talk every day, and we often talk about the memories we were left with from when you were with us at Estes. Bottom line, we can't replace you, we love you, and you'll always be one of us. Rest easy, Ken. You'll be sadly missed. Your friends, Charlie, the old Red Rider, Brad, and Keith.
Station wagon, driving it one day at school. And Ken got wild hair. He climbed up on the roof of my station wagon, acted like he was surfing. He was driving down by the pool there, real slow. They had Beach Boys playing, and he's surfing the roof of the car. I finally told my parents about 10 years ago. Had a teacher yell at us.
Sounds like me and Ken.
And back then, off of 32nd and Fruitvale was a big, huge field behind their house. So we'd go ride the sleds in there. Well, one weekend they only had one sled. So we were taking turns and the other would play on the computer. And Ken went out first and he was running around and having fun. About 20 minutes later, he comes back in and says, all right, Ron, your turn. Doesn't tell me anything else. So I go out and I'm riding around and there was a hill. So I hit the hill and jumped. And when I landed, I went to turn and the right ski folded under. And I went face first into the windshield. Well, come to find out, Ken neglected to tell me when he was done that he had rolled the sled, slightly bending the right ski to start with, and breaking the protective strip off of the windshield. So I walked back to the house.
I never knew any of that.
So I walked back to the house. I'm in Mom's bathroom, bleeding all over the place. I had a cut from that. She's at work, his stepdad was there lecturing me about breaking the sled while I've got, my lip is cut across here, through the center, and down the side. So I'm bleeding all over the bathroom. He's yelling at me for breaking the sled. Waiting for my parents to come pick me up to take me to the hospital. And the whole time Ken's denying anything. But then later he's like, yeah, I should have told you I rolled it. Yeah, about that.
I don't even remember what year it was.
You're gonna be a star.
Maybe 78 when I moved into the
I think he was 10, so he would have been 80.
Yeah, gave me the scare of my life. I don't think I've ever been scared so bad in my life before, but, so I was working night shift, and I figured, well, I'd move the first load right when I got off work. Well, I got home, loaded everything up, and I made it over to the house about 4 o'clock in the morning. I think I probably took about 2 or 3 pieces into the garage. Turn around, boom, there he was. It's just like, hi, my name's Kenny.
It might be
About 4 o'clock in the morning, up till, half asleep. Yeah, so many memories of snowmobiles. I think at one time we had about 15 junker snowmobiles, and everything to do, John and I, to keep them running, and we just had tons and tons of memories, but that was the most memorable, I think, for me. 4 o'clock in the morning, turned around, and he was like 2 inches away from me. It's just,
Like to run the neighborhood.
oh yeah, I think every load I made after that was with it.
Oh, yeah, he's ready to go.
So, yeah, a lot of good memories, but he'll always be king to me.